Hi, my name is Mera and I am the metaphysician, and this is All Things Metaphysics. As a dreamer, as an innovator, as a free thinker, if you find yourself with a lack of community, a lack of support and acceptance, you're in very great hands. You see, going against the societal grain, dreaming and envisioning more for yourself will have you feeling like a pariah, like an outsider. It goes against our very biological programming to be an outcast. We are conditioned and programmed to follow the pack, to be accepted into community for our survival. You hunt, you protect, you fight together as a pack. And we innately seek this sense of security, even if it comes at the cost of shrinking and losing ourselves in the process. Socially, this translates into molding and altering our personality and character in order to fit in and blend in. Adhering to the patterns of this world will also have us losing our individuality and identity for the sake of not sitting alone at the table. Straying away from the mainstream seems very counterintuitive, yet separation and seclusion is a vital and necessary component for our soul's evolution and growth. Swimming against the current, going against the grain, it is a necessary part of the process for you to step into the fullness and power of all that you were meant to be. And the loss of social graces follow those who stray from the norm, who deviate from the common path. Deviating from the thoughts of the masses comes with critique, shaming, intimidation, ridicule, threats, and the loss of good social graces. It comes with the territory, and you're not alone. Time and time again, we have seen examples of those who refuse to conform to the patterns of this world. We have great leaders, philosophers, and spiritual teachers who have led the way, who have shown us with a burden of walking the individual path, of following the soul's path in this false world of materialism. You see, greatness requires separation. It requires boldness. When you deviate from the ways of this world, when you spread truth and light to the illusions and falsities of this world, when you lead others to think for themselves, when you allow others to question all that this reality appears to be, you will stir the hornet's nest. But your job is to shake the masses, awaken others to truth. And it is not a path for the weak or faint of heart, but know that it is the most rewarding path a soul could ever walk. You see, society believes that there is truth in numbers. And on the contrary, there is not always truth in numbers. Rather, there is truth in introspection. There is power in solitude. Therefore, do not be afraid of standing out from the rest, for you are equipped to handle all that comes your way, whether it be the loss of relationships, social status, or reputation. Rejection is not always bad, and people's projection is actually a protection. Rejection is an indication that you are not being seen in the fullness of who you are. And those with limited perspective will miss the bigger picture of who you are. Those who have limited views will never be able to see the bigger picture of your life. For truth is not comprehended by the short-sighted. Neither will you, truth incarnate, be understood by those who are not yet ready to understand or see you in your fullness. This allows you to know where you do not belong, and that is the gift. Not belonging is your gift. Let's take a look at some well-known biblical stories. We have Joseph, a vibrant young man full of dreams and aspirations. His bratty idealisms, along with the obvious favoritism from both parents, really grinded his brother's gears. So much so that the envy they had toward him drove the 12 brothers into selling their youngest brother into slavery. As a slave in Egypt, far from his home in Canaan, he finds supernatural grace in the Potiphar's eyes. Because the Lord was with Joseph, he was successful, and he became overseer of his master's home. Time passed, and a false allegation rose up against Joseph, and he quickly found himself in prison. In the prison, he found favor with the guard, and they made him a keeper of the prisoners. Time passed again, and Joseph found favor again, this time with Pharaoh. Being ruler of Egypt with only Pharaoh above him, he rose to his position of power. And this is where it gets fun. A famine comes to all the lands. His brothers come all the way from Canaan, searching for provision in Egypt. Now Joseph was governor over the land. He was the one who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed themselves before him with their faces to the ground. Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them, but he treated them like strangers and spoke roughly to them. "Where do you come from?" he said. They said, "From the land of Canaan to buy food." And Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Genesis 42, 6-8. Now, a lot of drama happens between this part and the end of the story. But instead of holding grudges, there's forgiveness and there's understanding. For the famine has been in the land these 2 years, and there are 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve for you a remnant on earth and to keep alive for you many survivors. So it was not you who sent me here, but God. He made me a father to Pharaoh and lord of all his house and ruler over all the land of Egypt. Genesis 45, 6-8. Here we are able to see a character who can see the bigger picture, who understands that all things work together for their good. We get to see forgiveness take place, understanding, and wisdom in knowing that there is power in being able to see the bigger picture of your life. The Lord said to Moses, "When you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders I have given you the power to do. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go." Exodus 4:21. I don't know how many of us will be able to perform our heart out and still be rejected. Now, after Jesus' death and transfiguration, he casually appeared to disciples on their way to a village called Emmaus. Now, that same day, 2 of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. And as they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them. But they were kept from recognizing him. Luke 24:13-16. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and began to give it to them. Then their eyes were opened and they recognized him, and he disappeared from their sight. They asked each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scripture to us?" Luke 24:30-32. You see, these situations are examples of being concealed and hidden for a particular purpose. Joseph needed to mold his character. He needed to refine his vision. He needed that rejection, that betrayal. Moses needed that brick wall in order to manifest even greater than all that he could have possibly imagined. You see, obstacles are not a reason for you to give up. Obstacles are motives for you to evolve, to think outside the box. Now, in Jesus' case, on the road to Emmaus, they did not recognize him, but they felt him. They were able to sense the energy and the purity radiating from him. Through these examples, we get to see a much larger picture play out. You see, the divine allows you to be overlooked, to be rejected. The divine allows people's heart to harden towards you, but it's all part of a greater plan. The divine conceals your identity, conceals your truth, hides you from those who are not yet ready to see you. For outside energy and projection can ruin a very good thing. Remaining hidden in the back room, in the dark room for development, is all for your benefit. And when the time is right, the scales will fall off of their eyes and your fullness and glory will be revealed. Your countenance radiates at such a degree that not all eyes are blessed to see you yet. Not everyone has the ability to see the colorful spectrum that you truly are. For this is for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. And those not walking in spirit or in truth will be committed to misunderstanding. This is all permitted so that you may learn to not live for the applause of others, so that you may take firmer steps with confidence in who you are, so that you may be bolder in your truth, that you may not be afraid of shining the light despite how heavy and tangible and oppressive the dark seems. Therefore, do not dismay. Don't fear the masses. Don't lose hope at the rejection of others. For in due time, at the appointed season and moment, all shall see and recognize truth. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am the Metaphysician. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.